Hello guys, today while I have this thing partially apart, I figure I might as well just do a quick review of the RocHobby Atlas 4x4. This is my first and only right now 1/10 scale crawler, and for the price it's been phenomenal, and I wanted to share that with everybody because yeah, this thing was on sale on Father's Day this year. It was buy one get one free. Okay, you buy a RocHobby Atlas 4x4, you can get either the 6x6 or the Magnum, which in my case, the 6x6 was sold out, so I got the Magnum. This RocHobby, though, excuse me, my son's toys are over there. They don't have a workbench yet, so I'm just kind of got a little spot in the floor to work on this thing. This thing has been amazing. I don't really know what else to say about this thing. The only thing I've done to this performance-wise is steel bead locks, Predator Hyrexes, and of course my run cam mount, but that's besides the point. I wanted to go into a few pros and cons of this thing though. I'm going to be putting this little guy in here, the Hobbywing Quick Run Fusion SE 1200, and of course I ran into a few things, but I figured I'd point everything out here. So I've got it all apart, but I've got them set in here. So the motor's apart, but one thing, if you want to put a winch on this thing, I'll point out a few cons first. If you want to winch this thing, the body is on a hinge. So when this is screwed on, I did have a winch here. As you can see, the holes I drilled. However, when you have a winch, you can only move the body like this far, and it's kind of a pain. So I did take the winch off because it's a lot easier this way. Second con on this thing, grab the battery that I bought for this thing, is this battery tray. It does seem to be a little bit of an afterthought because really, it is kind of, I tend to have to wedge it into this little crevice here. It's not screwed in right now, of course, but when it is all together, I can wedge this right in here and it'll stay just fine. I've really only had the battery fall out 2 or 3 times the whole time I had this thing, and that really hasn't been that bad. But also, the battery that I have here, this Electron Pro 5200, I've never run this down. I have driven for 2 hours straight doing trails and crawling, never died. So this is a good battery to use, in my opinion, because it's a hard case, so you don't have to worry too much about the battery falling out and puncturing or something. So this is a good one if you're going to use this car. Switching out the motor is a little more difficult than other cars, in my opinion, because you got this transfer case or gearbox that's attached to the motor, which I stripped out and had to drill the holes out. I'm just gonna order a new gearbox because they're only $18 from FMS. I'm just gonna save this for another project maybe. But that sounds negative, but really that's minor. I mean, that stuff happens, so I'm not gonna knock the car for that. It's a really good car. This thing has got, I mean, for the price that it was, I want to say it was $250 for this plus that Magnum. This thing, it's got the torque. It climbs. It's really heavy, but man, this thing climbs like nobody's business. I have also noticed this thing is extremely durable. Seriously, I have rolled this thing down. I've got it on video. I may do a little montage of some harsh things that this thing has gone through. It's been underwater completely a few times, not on purpose. I've driven through some streams, some ponds. I have rolled it end over end, barrel rolled it down entire hills, on accident, mind you. And this thing is never broken. There is not a single thing on this car that is broken. Well, I take that back. There's one thing that is broken, and I didn't really care. Only thing that is broken off is this little snorkel right here. And it wasn't that long ago. I mean, this thing took a lot of tumbles, and I'm surprised that none of these pieces of trim have ever fallen off. These mirrors, I thought they were going to fall off pretty quick, but no, they have stayed on. The snorkel broke, but honestly, it broke off, and I looked at it and I threw it in the trash because I thought, you know what, I don't really care about the snorkel. You see these windows are sticky. That is my fault, because these come with these little tinted stickers, and I wanted to put a driver in here, but I wanted people to be able to see it. Where's my driver here? Here's my little driver, you know, to fit the theme. I peeled the stickers off. I didn't actually clean the residue off, so that's on me. I don't like my cars to look like everyone else's, so I opted for a Chippendale Rescue Rangers theme. Got my little driver with some Velcro, stuck him on top of my my little controller for my winch, and he stays on there pretty good. But seriously, this thing has taken so many tumbles, and being on the cheaper side of crawlers, I was concerned that this thing was gonna break, and I was gonna be left with a having to replace parts all the time. But honestly, it's been phenomenal. I can't say enough praises about this thing. I mean, and also another thing is, I know people say that whenever you drive these things in dirt and mud and dust, you should always wash them off before putting them away. When you drive in water, dry them off before putting them away. I will tell you right now, I have never, not a single time have I ever cleaned this thing. And I haven't seen a single problem. I know it's terrible that I've never cleaned it. I mean, it has been beaten up. You see scratches, you see dirt, you see all kinds of bangs and dings, because I have launched this thing, not off cliffs, but I've launched it off ledges that were too big to climb down, and it's taken some beatings, and I have not yet identified anything that was bent. Oh, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, there's one other problem that I had straight off the bat, and that was the steering servo. When I was driving this, I'd say a week or two after getting this thing, I went out to a creek with a lot of rocks, and the screw came out of the steering servo here. And of course, naturally, I lost that screw. But I just found a random screw laying around. It was actually a Dell monitor screw. Stuck it in there, it's been fine since. So the only cons in this thing, in the grand scheme of things, are very minor. But if you're looking to get into 1/10 scale crawling, but don't want to dish out, you know, $500, $600 for, you know, a really good crawler, this little guy, big guy rather, is a good first step, to be honest. I mean, really, first step, I would say SCX24, because that's cheap, and it's good to get your feet wet, so to speak, without breaking your wallet, which is where I started. Which I'm going to be driving my SCX24 a little more often now, because I'm actually going to buy a new gearbox for this thing, because I stripped it out and don't really want to deal with it. But yeah, this is really good for the money. Only other thing is kind of obvious from looking at it. It is a little top heavy. Not as top heavy as I had expected from looking at it. But this thing will tip a little easier than others. And let's just test that real quick. We'll see how long it takes for it to tip over here. Let's not smash my new motor here. So if I start leaning it, mind you, everything's unattached, how long before it tries to just tip? Right about here is where it's going to tip. Yeah, that's about where it starts tipping. Which, it's not that bad, but it will tip some. But it does appear that it'll tip a lot easier than it does. Naturally, these I have added. This actually has all my tools in it, so it's a little extra weight. This little guy here, I have a full set of Allen wrenches in it, so when I'm driving, you hear them rattling around. I've got a tow chain, I've got a chain, I've got a little winch line, I've got all the tools I need in these. I've got in this little one here, I've got actually one of those hex drivers in there. These are all my tools. I've never actually had to get them out, because this thing has been so reliable. But yeah, I'll put some footage at the end of this here of some of the crazy things this thing has done, and you be the judge on if this is a good crawler. But I've been thoroughly impressed. No! Chippendale, are you okay? Oh no. Oh. I'm actually surprised I made it that far. Let's see how far I get. Oh, dang, I made it. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna. Oh, still going? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it any farther than that. Uh-oh. Oh no, I don't want to have to go in there and get that thing. What have I done? Come on, you can do it. Believe in you. Come on. Oh, great. I don't want to walk over there. I want my work shoes. Darn it. I can just... Okay, I'm getting it deeper. This is not going to be fun. Walk carefully. Oh, God. I'm sinking. Oh, shoot. That's not good. Oh, God. I just lost my shoe. Okay. This isn't good. I got a problem here. Catch up on me? Why not? This one, let's try it. Oh, making it? Hey, look at that. He made it. If he can go any further. Don't think he'll make it over this. Maybe he'll surprise us.
Oh my gosh!
Put these Predator tires to work here. It's farther than I thought we'd make it. I think we're about to tip. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna go.
Okay. Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa. It almost saved itself. That was close. Y'all want to pull? Oh, yeah.
Guys, watch out.
I can hear that slipper touch. I can hear that slipper clutch.
I don't see the one behind the tree.
What am I thinking here? I'm gonna send it. Okay. And Chip is still doing good in there. He's still smiling, so he's apparently still doing okay. Their famous last words, but let's see how things go. Because you got to have a water crossing, and these tires are so dirty, they really need a good wash. So let's inch our way across here. Yeah, there we go. I'm over this a little deep. There we go. Good job, little guy. Let's get you right up here. This looks like a good place to exit. Don't you dare tip over, because I don't need to once again get my shoes covered in mud. That went well.
Filming?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That'll be a nice video.
Footage.
I brought my 24, but it's in my car. I didn't want to carry them both. Gotcha. Okay, let's
Today's episode of
not as nimble as his.
I need $60. Anybody got $60?
No, I'll get a job. My van needs detail. I'll do that.